that's probably could be named better. Wemby with 39 points, 8 made threes. He had 11 rebounds last night, helping the Spurs hold off the Celtics 125-116. De'Aaron Fox finishes 25-9. Derek White at 34, 7 and 5. Tatum at 24. I didn't mention Jaylen Brown for a reason. We'll get to him in a little bit. But the Spurs have now won 16 of their last 17. And amongst those wins, you've got Detroit twice, Lakers, Thunder, Rockets, Celtics, Warriors, and Raptors, Lou. It's a pretty, if I do say so myself, impressive stretch.
Run.
Most impressive so far of the season for the league?
I don't know. You got to give them credit. I'm sure there's some teams out there, but for lack of information, I don't know of a better stretch. This is impressive, especially with the teams that you just mentioned and the way that they've been able to beat some of these teams. You know, like the Detroit wins were very impressive. Those were the ones that stood out to me. What they've been able to do against OKC, I know that's not a part of this, but what they've been able to do to OKC this year, they've turned a lot of heads and they've put themselves in a position.
Got one game in there, buddy. Got one.
Yeah, one, but you know they went out and got 3 of them, so that's an accomplishment within itself. But just the defensive mindset, the way that Wemby's been able to turn the corner and take his teammates with him, you know, from the Vassell's to the Foxes, to the Harpers, to the Castles, like they have so many different guys that can beat you on any given night. The most impressive part to me is they do it as a team and they do it as a group and they don't care who gets the credit. Obviously, Wemby is going to be the guy that's going to be in front lines and his face is going to be a lot of these headlines. But a lot of different guys have been the reason why they've had the success that they've had. So this is a team that's poised and at the right time of year when you want to see your team start to turn their corner, start to play these games and start to go out and beat reputable teams going into a deep playoff run. That's what you want to see from your group. You know, so San Antonio has been just as impressive as anybody else in the league right now.
Yeah, and B's, without the 83-point eruption, we're opening the show with this game and this team, and this is not easy to do what they're doing right now, and it's like the flip side of what most teams do, and that's beat bad teams, go on these stretches on non-playoff teams. They're beating good teams, and they're battle tested, and that is going to give them confidence when they do have to face these teams as such a young team down the stretch and in the playoffs and possibly in the finals. When you talk about, you know, a Detroit Pistons basketball team that they could possibly reach in the NBA Finals. So this is super impressive. Again, we're going to talk about Wemby and what he does and how he's kind of expanding his game. You kind of see him get into his bag a little bit more offensively. Defensively, you know what he does, but it's the other guys for San Antonio. It's Vassell and it's Castle and it's Harper. Fox last night goes for 25 points. Champagny, like he struggled last night, but he's been pretty consistent for them all season long. And so there's such a balanced attack. You know they're always going to defend even when shots aren't falling. And Wemby just provides something that we've never really seen before in the league, offensively and defensively. So for such a young up-and-coming team, we can't even talk about them like that anymore because they're here and they just might be, you know, the best or one of the best teams in the NBA, and they're a real contender as far as early as this season.
Luke Cornett was great last night as well.
So full disclosure, I still have this.
I hope Luke Cornett gets traded to Atlanta one day.
We
were going to leave it there, man. Let's go.
I'm going to light a candle for that. So I still have, there's this little piece of me, and maybe it's the OKC of it all, but as a super fan of the Spurs, I still have like a 4% part of me that's like, they can't, it's too soon. They can't get this done. But then I'm hearing more and more people sort of just come out and go, you know what? They maybe can. Like, legitimately, are we looking at a real contender? Or are we just very, very in the moment right now, Chandler?
Yeah, we are. We really, really are. And again, like I said, their guard play is so good. Their size, they have a nice combination of experience. They always defend. They're tough. Mitch Johnson has done a hell of a job just getting them on the same page with everything that they do. They're so methodical, and no matter who's in the lineup, they're also like OKC. They're not quite as deep, obviously, as that roster, but it's just next man up mentality. If someone's out, they have a guy that can just plug and play and still produce similar numbers. Even when Wemby went out, think about that. I thought they were going to take a real hit when Wemby went out, and they were still so good and so solid. And so that's what's most impressive to me. And when you look at the Western Conference, obviously you have the Thunder, and they've had success in the regular season. That means nothing come playoff time. So they're going to have to get over that hump. The Denver Nuggets aren't going anywhere. They're a very good team with Nikola Jokic, who is going to present. He's the one guy in the league that can still probably have his way with Wemby offensively. So those two teams, again, those are going to be the monsters that they're going to have to get through. But they're not going to be an easy out for anybody. I don't think those two teams want to see the Spurs in the playoffs either until it's the Western Conference Finals. So this team is for real. They are legit. And again, they aren't going anywhere anytime soon because they're so young and they're also really fun to play. I never thought the Spurs were like a fun team to watch play. This team, very fun to watch.
Beto, I'll direct this to those experiences and apply it and try to create something different in the postseason that they've experienced in the regular season playing against the San Antonio Spurs.
This is why I'm glad they're in good hands with Mitch Johnson, because they won't be as arrogant as the fans. As fans, we're like, we've beaten them 4 times.
Yeah,
they won't think
fans,
that way.
Michelle, you're like, oh, we have their number. Like, no problem.
We're good. It's so obnoxious. It's the best part of being a fan. In the month of March, which we're not even through yet, but Wemby so far averaging 28, 11, and 4.2 blocks a game. You mentioned Jokic. Jokic has mentioned Wemby. I kind of love all of this going together, Lou. But does Wemby challenge Jokic for the role of best center next season?
Is he actually a center? Like, is he actually a center, though?
I don't look at him like a center.
He's everything. So he should be able to challenge the best point guard, the best shooting guard, small forward, so on and so forth. But listen, if we're just talking about the center position, that's Wemby's. I'm sorry, that's Jokic. Jokic is going to be the best center in the game. We're not going to rewrite what's going on. I don't even know if Wemby recognizes himself as a center. Obviously, he's the tallest player in the league, tallest player on the court every time. So by definition, I think he becomes a center because of that. But Jokic is the best center in the game. Wemby is probably going to be one of the best players in the game. But if we're just dumbing this down by position, we can't just pretend like Jokic isn't the best center in the game right now.
I like it.
Yeah, I guess I've never really thought about it. Like, I never thought about what position he would be, because he, like Lou just said, he's so versatile, and obviously his size and his height, you would put him at the 5, but I think he's more of a 4. Like, I think he's more of a stretch 4. He can handle the ball. He could also be a 3.
Crazy.
He could also be a 2.
That's what I'm saying, Chandler. Like, we can't just dumb this down to one position. But if we're going to dumb it down to a position, it can't be the 5 because Jokic got that.
He was a great 6th man.
Make him a 4.
He was a great 6th man. Oh, my goodness, he is everything.
Well, now he's competing with me, and it's a no.
Now we say no to this. Cut it off.
Yeah, get back in that starting lineup. You don't want that smoke. But Lou's right. Kind of like, the center position is Jokic. You can't compare the two yet. Listen, up and coming, like, would I take one of now for the future? Of course, sure. I'm going Wemby. But when you look at Jokic, what he's done and his resume, he's the best center in the NBA, and he's also the best player in the NBA. So it's tough to compare the two. But he's got some catching up to do. But again, he's not a center. I don't know. I guess he's a power forward. Like, what would we call him?
He's a hybrid of it all.
He can't be a center.
I argued with my 6-year-old son about this, and we came to the conclusion we just don't know. We just don't know.
Fair. Sometimes you just don't.
If you do position rankings, is he ranked as a center? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think if you have to pick a spot, yes. But that sounds weird saying it out loud.
If we're doing rankings, we're going to slide him to the 4 because it's no list. Because by no position are you going to allow Wemby to be the second best at his position.
So is he the best power forward, or is that still Giannis?
No, he's better.
And we're having a different conversation.
No, he's better.
It ain't the 5. Can we agree that it's not the 5?
Fine, but it feels weird saying that a 7'5" dude is not the 5. Like, that just doesn't feel right to my brain.
That is why he's a unicorn, alien, whatever he wants to be. That's
Beautiful
not worldly.
Alien.
That's why
he's the best small forward. He's the best small forward in the league.
He's the best point guard I've ever seen in my whole life. He also went viral last Friday. We didn't even really touch on this yesterday or at all on Monday because they played the Clippers. They were down by 25. It was like, I think, the second greatest comeback or something crazy like that. And he's emotional about it, right? And yeah, it's the month of March. And I will say this. My timeline is usually very negative. However, on this particular day, I saw more people in this business, in whatever capacity, praising that this is the kind of stuff we need more of in the league. Now, there are a couple of haters, and we'll get to them in a second, that didn't like it. But what'd y'all make of this moment? Lou, you hated it?
I didn't mind it one bit. A little emotion is good for the game. Now,
right?
Again, we're talking about as players. Now, are we going to make a little fun of him crying during a regular season game? Absolutely. But listen, all of us have had nights where we've been overwhelmed or we feel something and the game brings it out of us. Every single one of us has had a night. Pat Bev is being critical. Remember how Pat Bev felt when he won that play-in game.
The play-in.
Everybody has a night that everything comes crashing down and you feel like you've accomplished something and you've done something special and it overwhelms you. It's no different. So Wemby having that emotion, I loved it. I think it's good for the game. I think it brings people closer. I think it makes us more human. It makes people feel like we care about the games in a business where they think that players only care about getting paid and we don't care about winning. This was special to see. So I'm down with this.
Chandler, what's happening?
I just don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this. I think
you don't like it when men cry. Tell me the truth.
No. Are we sure there's nothing going on personally in his life that night around that time? Like, maybe
that's what I said, Chandler. Like sometimes in a night in the life, you can get overwhelmed with just everything going on, and it comes out.
Yeah, I'm completely guessing, but that's where I think there's something in his life that someone wasn't able to be there, or because crying. Again, I'm not like mention.
It's
cry.
a release.
It's since I've had kids, I cry all the time, so I get it. But I never really cried before. But I'm just saying, crying during a regular season game is crazy. Like I've never seen that.
Let me ask you a question, Chandler.
There'd be a lot going on.
But you know what? You know what you have seen? How many guys have you seen cry behind the scenes after games, though?
Yeah, I've seen, again, you never know what's going on in someone's life either. So I don't want to make fun or belittle this. Yeah, I don't think he was crying because the win meant so much to him. That's why he was teary.
Could be a little bit of everything, right? Like whatever's happening.
Yeah, it could be some light things going on. And listen, after a long game, a 25-point deficit, you go out and win that game, that can overwhelm you. So listen, I'm pulling the curtain back a little bit because you don't see it a lot on the floor like we saw with Wemby, but behind the scenes, after a tough fought win sometimes, and a guy just feels overwhelmed with the attention, with fans, with everything going on, and you finally get to a place where you get some quiet, you can get overwhelmed sometimes. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've felt it. I've done it myself, and I've consoled my fair share of teammates with happy tears of joy after some of these things because you're 60 plus games in, you're away from your family, you're on the road, you're traveling, you might be a little irritable, you might be a little stressed out, you got playoffs coming up, you got expectation levels. Sometimes that stuff spill out. So I wasn't tripping at all.
You know what? He had that friend that they couldn't find, that was missing, and then they found him, the kid that was going to the, we all have crap, right? Like we all have it.
It's got to be something else. But also, this guy's going to lose his mind when they win a playoff series of the championship.
I can't wait. I'm going to be bawling. It's going to be amazing.
You cried in March beating the Clippers. Can you imagine when they win the whole thing?
Also, Europeans are not taught to stifle their emotions, if we're being honest. You know what? They're supposed to just let it go. Let it be free. Be cool. Speaking of emotions, good Lord, Jaylen Brown. This was actually an entertaining stretch of seconds, I suppose. But here we go. He did get tossed after this one. He gets pushed out of bounds. He's not happy about it. He's voicing his opinion to the refs. Gets teed up. And then immediately keeps going. And you could sort of tell, like, he's about to get thrown out. And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Goes to the locker rooms, immediately tweets, "This is the crap I be talking about." So he got his money's worth. Yeah, Chandler? I feel like I felt that watching this. Get it.
If you're going to get tossed, get your money's worth. Again, I don't think the initial play was that bad either. Like the shove on Castle. So this was something leading up to this. And I will say the referee, he gave him multiple chances. Like after he even walked 94 feet to him, then he went back and back. The ref had to do it. And again, warranted, sure. But Jaylen Brown, obviously, in a game like this, of this magnitude too, you never want to see the best players get tossed, especially so early. And this is a huge game. And these are two teams that we're looking at as possible contenders. So you want the best players on the floor. But at the end of the day, this referee, I think his name's Tyler. Maybe I made that up. I think Tyler, he had patience. Like he gave him a little grace there until he didn't have to anymore. So he kind of pushed his hand there.
The crew chief is the first The not crew chief is the second, and that's Missoula called that guy a hall monitor. So that'll be probably a little bit.
Hey,
that's what I mean.
We just talked about it. Everybody is a little frustrated and a little irritable right now. Now, how you show it and how it comes out, it can be some different things. Because he was pushed out of bounds, cool. But for you to lose your mind about it like that, I'm a little irritated.
By the way, it was physical. Like the first play of the game, Wemby gets whacked in the face. Like there was physical on both ends. Like I'm not sure if you
also
realize that.
How about I don't know if we have this. How about the Wemby push on Tatum too? Was a little weird. Like after the layup,
some moments.
You see that? Like there was definitely some moments. This is a physical game, but again, Tyler gave